And we have to have power to stop it.
True. As you were growing in terms of the arts that you had gotten involved with, you were a dancer.
Yes.
You've been an actress.
Yes.
A writer.
Yes. And
in your activism.
And if I wasn't married to him, well, nobody would know my name.
Do you believe that?
I know that.
Why is that?
I just told you. Really explain it. It doesn't matter.
But you said if you were
talent.
not married to him, that you may not have been able to stand up to.
No, I would have stood up. You would never be here interviewing me. That's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying.
I would only expect to appreciate that.
No,
because
I
you're living that life.
Yeah.
But I think that you have the innate talent.
It doesn't matter about how much talent you got.
Really?
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. What matters is the connections that you have. You remember, I don't know, when I met him, it was Leroy Jones, but he was not in the black community. He was in Greenwich Village. He was among writers and intellectuals in the main, not all of them were white, but in the main, the people that had the powers and still got them. To reject him, when he came into the black community, nobody knew his name. Not the way he was known in that circle. After the Newark Rebellion, when he had to get knocked in the head, there had to be a rebellion. I do not call it a riot because they for the last time they said, oh, we're not taking this anymore. He got beat. 1960, thereafter 1967, the world, not only Newark, the world knew him. But look what it took.
Primarily because of?
He got the rebellion was big news. A black playwright who was famous in the white community was now beaten up and so on. Because when he got locked up, the only people that I could call at that time was Allen Ginsberg. Allen Ginsberg got in touch with, what's his name? Sartre. And they called on the phone, and I told him, because he was missing, and I was frightened, and I didn't know whether he was dead or alive. Allen came, and he called, those people. Now, it does not mean that after the Black Power Conference that took place on 33 Sterling Street, where there's pictures with Rap and all, and Karinga and Carmichael, everybody came because the cities was on fire. What was important was that they may have killed him had not it been for, in quotes, progressive white people who had some interest and some concern and no doubt love for him.
Understanding the relationship of how it catapulted his popularity, it's still needed to have the true essence of his concern for the community. And you were there helping to fight that concern. The development of it was based upon issues. And the issues had to be relevant to not only black males, but black women.
Well, there was a problem in the whole black liberation movement. The cultural nationalist aspect, we were returning to even the traditions in Africa that the progressive African revolutionary organizations were trying to make sure that they didn't repeat the, what do you call that? Repeat the same kinds of oppression of women that, oh, absolutely. But in the, what they call bars, the black arts movement, there was a lot of oppression of women. And still is, actually. But let's go back to the real thing here. The real thing is that if you teach a people that they are not equal, and they have their job is to cook and clean and to make sure your life is all right. And now I'm talking about the males. Then they have to have somebody, since they're supposed to be at the chauvinist in charge of the house. And then there are women, so let me tell you, exploitation does nothing but fix it so you exploit the next person. The class question is always in it. People look for other people. And I think that happens even in the white community, by the way. You look for somebody else that will do the work you don't want to do. And it doesn't matter how much talent you have. It doesn't matter. What matters, do you have the power to speak for yourself? Do you have the power to insist that I will not be exploited? I will not die like a dog. Claude McKay's farm, I will not. If we must die, let it not be like animals. And that's a paraphrase. Somebody better read that poem, if we must die.
In looking at your life and understanding many of the tragedies that had occurred, I still remember vividly, after your daughter was murdered, how you stood by the casket and held her hand. It was very symbolic, but I know that it was a hurt message. A mother's will to continue to show the effects of the relationships of how society itself alienates women who were part of the culture that she was part of. The dynamics of it really...
Yes, my daughter was gay.
And the question is, what was the real message that you were giving to us at that time?
That we are human beings, and that we must not forsake people, and particularly mothers. You don't do this, you don't. You don't hurt people because of the complexion of their skin, because of their class, or because of their sexuality. That is not your business. Your business is to create a society in which everyone can live in peace. I know it sounds like, there she goes, but it can happen. It can happen. It's happening in Cuba. It's happening in Cuba.
The thoughts of relating to it and what really transpired to the kind of image that Roz himself was able to portray is now transcending, like you say, where it's more of a dynamic of showing that it's not just black or white, but we are a conglomerate of different lifestyles.
It's humanity he's fighting for. It's humanity he's fighting for. I do not I was so proud. Even when he ran, I said, oh Lord, please don't let that happen to him. And his brother, Amiri Jr., who was his campaign manager, and now his chief of staff, I had one of their teachers, Mr. C, came to me and he said, I can't wait for Inauguration Day. Now this is during the campaign. He'd already decided. This Italian guy. He said, because the Kennedys don't have nothing on the Barakas. And I said, don't say that, because it scared me.
Right.
It scared me, but I understood what he meant.
Right.
He wasn't coming with gloom. He was just saying, in terms of the Kennedy's legacy, in terms of John and Robert and so forth. But it was their mother first. I said, oh God, don't say that. But I understand it. I understand it. And I was very appreciative. And he brought me flowers.
Is that right?
Yes, he did. After Raz won.
One of the things that I did, and I knew, especially during the time when there was the riff about Raz, his lifestyle, his creativity, and his relationship of being outspoken, was to the extent that what we have done for the Raz is made investments. He was what we wanted him to be. And it wasn't the right thing to do to turn our back on him now that he was out in harm's way, so to speak. Looking at the ingenuity behind that construction, the whole relationship of your husband, what was transpired in his organizing, the relationship that Roz now has to be able to deliver is much more than just winning. He really has to lead. In what direction do you think you can support that?
I think I can't do anything without the people. That's why his slogan was what? He thought that up himself. When I become mayor, we become. I didn't raise no fools now. He just did his father. He knew that his winning was going to be determined by the people, boots on the ground. He knew that once he won, and Amiri Jr.'s favorite slogan, "Mommy, don't worry, we got this." And, I said, oh, okay. But inauguration day, and they said, "Amina, your son is the mayor-elect." I said, "But I will not be happy until I see him put his hand on that Bible and make that swearing in." And when I saw that, I said, "Well, you got what you asked for. Let's see what was going to happen." And he kept it. He's going to keep his promises. He's going to keep his promises. He was raised by the people, like all the women in the community. They know. They know. They know they're his mother. The men know they're the father. We have an investment here. The people in Newark have invested. Black, Latin, Asian, white, Portuguese. We have an investment here. And we expect him to deliver because we have invested in him.
Through tragedy, there was triumph. But the expectations didn't come without some kind of hostility and pride. Looking at how everything really now has evolved with the loss of your husband, but the success of your son, what is your lifestyle going to be like?
It's the way it's always been. Nothing changes. I mean, in terms of once always described, and I told the kids when they were small, our family is not the average family. We made a commitment. We were volunteered. We volunteered to fight. And with any struggle, there is going to be some casualties. And the casualties are always going to hurt. When I met him, he was Leroy Jones. He had a life. He could have been this or that and the other, but he chose to come back here for whatever reason. We'll never know. But the Newark Rebellion took place. We had 4 sons and 1 daughter. And we volunteered. We volunteered. It's a volunteer army, like in World War II, fighting fascists. It's like fighting. You're going to have to do this.
Will you be doing any more writing?
Well, I'm trying to get a collection of poetry I've done, but really right now, I don't really care about it anymore. Only thing I care about right now is that finally we got a mayor who cares about the community. And what I really care about is that he's able to survive and to do it. And those young men and women who are among his age are not out on the street corners. They got a job. And I think they will do it. That's the only thing I really... Of course, I would like to. I'm a singer. I would love to sing. I love to write poetry. I love to do all of that. But I gave that up the moment that I collaborated with Leroy Jones / Amina Baraka. It was done. I knew it.
Well, it's a wonderful pleasure to have an opportunity to talk to you. I look forward to more opportunities when we can.
I do too. You have a very intelligent questioning. Because I hate people ask me dumb stuff.
Well, I really appreciate you. I value you greatly.
And I thank you so
I think
much
you're
for
very
this
thoughtful as
opportunity.